Don't believe everything that's automatically put in front of you. Don't even believe everything I said tonight. Go look up John Maynard Keynes. Go look up Milton Friedman. All I want you to do is learn to think for yourself, because I think we, the people, are the healing agent of this economy. But we got to think for ourselves and not be led around by our nose by somebody who's got another agenda. And I'm not going to play by their rules. Is it always a bad time to start a business when the economy's down? No, I would submit to you that it's really a good time, because the weak competitors have been driven out of the market that muddy up things. And so you're going to have a dogfight, because you're going to be fighting against the best. But at least you're going to know exactly where you stand. And let me tell you, some of the biggest and best businesses in America were started in the middle of or just following a huge calamity of some kind. Bill Gates started Microsoft in 1975 in his garage. Now, Bill's done okay. And that's following the 73-74 major recession that was. And David started Hobby Lobby in his garage in 1972 with $600. Now remember, 72 he started, 73, 74 was the worst recession. Weed Eater sales by 1977 were $80 million in 1977 dollars. Now George did okay, and he entered the market just as we hit into that 73-74 recession. My friend S. Turret Cathy that started a company called Chick-fil-A, and he brought it to the marketplace in the year 1946, immediately following World War II. Michael Dell started Dell Computers in his dorm room in 1984. He was 19 years old, just following the 1982 recession. So is it always a bad time? I don't know. We could ask my friend Mike.
He's a great guy, and he said, Dave, I got to tell you, I had a Dave Ramsey moment. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, I paid off my house a couple of years ago, and I had $30,000 cash in the bank for my emergency fund. I hadn't any debt in years. That's why I come and hang out, is just to say thank you, because this stuff has turned my life around that you teach. One of my best friends is my boss. And he said, Dave, he came in the other day, and he walked in the door, and his lips started quivering, and his eyes filled up with tears. And he said, Mike, I don't know how to tell you this, but I've come in here, and I got to tell you, I gotta lay you off, man. And Mike said, I felt so sorry for my friend. He said, I just went around the table, and I gave him a big hug, and he said, I had to do that because I was starting to grin. Because he said, I'm completely debt-free. I got $30,000 in the bank. And he said, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder how big the severance is. Got a $70,000 severance package. Put that with his $30,000, and he's in business, and he'll probably outperform that company that laid him off. What do you want to bet?
All right.
This is America, man. I tell you,
Yeah.
I love it.
The jobs going down are the symptom of the economy slowing. They're not the cause. And so creating jobs is not going to cause the economy to come back. Jobs are going to create as the economy comes back. And I would suggest to you that you don't take this thing on of, ooh, the economy is the only reason that I'm unemployed. It's why you lost that job, but you've got to get your chin up again, stick your chest out again, you know, comb that hair back and get after it again. Now, I'm not picking on you, but I'm saying that your attitude and how you approach your job interview makes a lot of difference. And if you go in there going, well, you're not hiring anybody because of the economy, are you? They're going to say, well, we might be, but it wouldn't be you. Don't wait for the economy out there, this vague thing, to get better. For goodness sakes, don't wait on Washington to fix your life. Go rethink your career track. Go like this lady a little bit earlier and take a class. Let's learn something new. Let's engage in a whole different thing. Maybe the field you were in was a bad idea to start with. Maybe you already, like Mike, hated your job and are kind of glad you're not there anymore. So this is your opportunity to fly and be free. The truth is this, you got pushed out of the nest. You got two choices. Hit the cliff wall on the way down, or spread those wings, baby. It may be that you are an eagle that somebody need to give a little push to, because you've been acting like a buzzard. God put you on this planet to do something, maybe you weren't doing it, and he said, here, fly, you know? And so but is it scary when you jump? Yeah, it's a long way down there. Failure is a possibility. That's why I be flapping, right? I want you to get up. I want you to take action. I want you to get moving. When you get moving and install yourself and inject yourself into the situation, even if what you're doing doesn't seem to make sense, you're doing something. Activity just in your body releases proteins, endorphins, adrenaline. It changes your heart rate. You get a little bit of this stuff called sweat, which is good for you. You get moving, and you're out there, and you're just talking to everybody, and you may be driving everybody crazy, but you're not at home watching Oprah reruns. It's not a perfect formula, but you know that your best chance at success is you. And it's really your only chance. You wait on some congressman to fix your life, darling, you're going to have a long wait. Have you noticed how effective they are at anything? You standing at the mailbox, you're going to be standing there till you're old. The president is not going to fix your life, whether he's a Republican or a Democrat. They're not, and it's not their job, even if they think it's their job. It's not their job. It's your job to fix your life. So go out there and take action. My grandmother used to say there's a great place to go when you're broke, to work. In all of his years in the real estate business, that was the worst month he has ever had in the real estate business. But he kept doing the stuff he's supposed to be doing. He increased his marketing budget. He made more calls. He kept working the signs. He kept working with his sellers. He kept working with the buyers. He kept working the short sales. And February of 2009, in the middle of the worst recession since the Great Depression, Larry has had the best month of his entire life. He goes on to say, Dave, I just sold a $1.3 million home, and other homes this week are getting multiple offers. That sounds kind of weird. Is that the real estate market? Well, it is for Larry. The number one habit of highly effective people is they're proactive. They happen to things. Everything doesn't happen to them. Don't participate in loser talk. You get around a bunch of losers, you know what you're going to be? A loser. I'm sorry if they're in your family. There's research out there that says that your income will be within 10% of the average income of your 10 closest friends. Some of you are going, I need some new friends. Zig Ziglar, my friend, says, he says, I don't participate in loser talk. He says, I get up every morning, I read the Bible, I read the newspaper so I can tell what both sides are doing. One landscaper had been in business for years, and he began to tell Dan about how none of the customers would pay him. All his equipment broke down all the time. It was a struggle to get good customers, and when you did, and nobody, it was a struggle to get good help. You couldn't get people to work for you. They'd steal from you. Everything was wrong, 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 wrong. This guy had the spirit of Eeyore on him. And within weeks, that guy had filed bankruptcy, and the economy drove him out of business. He said, there's another landscaper I was working with. He said, Dave, this is the best year of my life. He said, I got the best customers, I got the best employees. He said, my equipment just works all the time. He said, I get people giving me stuff. They give me leads. They smile at me. They talk to me. And he said, you know why? Because he's got energy and he smiles. And he's good at what he does. I don't want a Eeyore planting my bushes. That 5 years from today, you will be the same person you are today, except for the books you read and the people you meet. And you'll be making the same income you are today, except for the books you read and the people you meet. You know, the average millionaire can't tell you who got thrown off the island. This guy was incredible. When we walk in the sub shop, as soon as I walk in the door, he'd say, hey, Dave, you want your regular and number 2 without mayo or whatever? He'd call out my order. Because my 17-year-old son came in right behind me, and he's like, hey, Daniel, what do you want? You want that normal turkey will you get with white? Yes. And as Daniel and I sat there and ate our sub, we watched him, everybody from banker to construction worker who came in the door. Jonathan knew their order off the top of his head if they had ever been in there even one time. He smiled. He had energy. This was a sub shop. You would have thought it was a 5-star restaurant. It's absolutely incredible. I never thought much about it. I just thought this is a sharp young guy. I probably ought to hire him. But I looked up one day and Jonathan had quit. And he went to school is what they told me. They told me he'd gone back to college and he had figured out that he needed an education to get ahead. I wished I could have caught him because he was already ahead. He just needed to apply it somewhere other than a sub shop because he had all the right stuff. But he'll be okay because he's Jonathan. Drove by there last week and there's a sign in the window. It says closed due to the economy. They're not closed due to the economy. They're closed because they lost their Jonathan. And they blamed it on the economy. You're probably the next Jonathan. Or maybe you've got one working for you. And you need to go in tomorrow and tell him or her how good they are. And how awesome a job they do. And how proud you are to have them in your association. You need Jonathans, America. Jonathans are what make America great. Because America's full of Jonathans. I see them everywhere I go. And that's why I know we, the people, are going to be okay. Jonathan's out there. So don't read that sign that says we closed because of the economy. Again, my friend Rabbi Daniel Lapin says this. As the Jewish folks are getting ready to enter their work week, which they consider work to be worship, they pour the wine into the cup to represent taking care of your own household first. But when it's full, they don't cease pouring. They keep to pour. And they pour and they pour and they pour until the saucer below is full to represent that you keep producing to give to others. Hope doesn't come from Washington. Hope comes from you and me. Hope comes from God. If you place your hope there, that's the only one that won't let you down. It's been a joy to be with you this evening. Thank you so much, America. Go get them. I love it.